Hello, my sweet summer children. Do y'all still hear it? Oh, I see why I still hear it. Okay. Hello, my sweet summer children. I'm back with the juice to get you through the long night, and Direwolf City is back. So, you guys have been like, when's Direwolf City coming back? When's Direwolf City coming back? It's back. How could we not do an episode about the trailer? And today with me is
Hi,
Mandy.
I'm Nim.
I thought I was just saying we're gonna clock back,
I
right?
forgot I was still muted. I don't have earbuds, so I'm trying to prevent feedback. I'm on vacation. I'm not set up or ready for this in any way, shape, or form, but here we are. I am Nim Shadow on Twitter and Instagram. I do all of the scheduling for Obsidian Nights, which we'll be picking up hopefully
Next week.
next week. And you can find me on the socials and on Gray's channel under the Direwolf City playlist.
And the Discord. The gray area Discord. Gray area Discord. Yeah. Yeah, so Obsidian Nights, you guys keep asking about it. It will be back on Spotify, iTunes, and all of that next week. I have 3 episodes of A Clash of Kings done. And I still need to record some more. So if you want to do episodes, let Mandy know or let me know. Also, we have Alicia. Alicia?
Hey.
Risha.
Risha. Hey, it's me. I'm just happy to be back with you guys. It's been
you guys.
forever. I know, some of us got together and we streamed for Gemstones. I know we kind of got together for the first teaser trailer that dropped with Usual Suspects, but I think it's been since November since we were all.
Mandy was saying that since November.
Yeah. I just love you
guys. Love you so much. We also today have with us Ara.
Hey guys, hello. I'm Ara, aka I Eat Zebra, which you can find me on all platforms. On the YouTube, Twitter, the Instagram. I have a Snapchat that I don't use, but if you want to just follow it, that's your prerogative. But yeah, I'm excited to be back. I missed you guys, and this trailer gave me life, and it made me so hopeful for this show. Like it's going in a good direction, so I'm very excited to talk about it.
Yeah, samesies. Like when I seen the trailer, I immediately text Ara and I was like, bitch.
Oh yeah, we were freaking out.
Yeah, we were. But before we get into it, I just want to address some of these super chats real quick because y'all are wilding out right now. We got a super chat from Count Valerian of House Tatters. Thank you for the super chat. How many seasons do you think we'll get? Does anyone want to take that? Does anyone have an estimate of how many seasons you think we're going to get a House of the Dragon?
I think a cool 5.
Oh.
5.
I was actually just discussing this with Kelly Glass a couple of minutes ago because she asked me the exact same question. I would say at least 3, but 4 seems like it would be the sweet spot.
Also,
I was thinking 5, 6 because I was talking to Ara before we went live. I was telling her that I feel like King Viserys might not die in season 1. So I feel like they might. I feel like they're going back because in the trailer we have Daemon Gold Cloak days. That's way, way, way before the day.
Yeah, I think a good way to do that would be the opening of season 2 would be the beginning of Game of Thrones, we see Jon Arryn laying on the plinth. I think that would be, or not him actually dead, but the footmen running to Alicent and Sir Criston Cole and saying the king is dead. That would be a good opening for season 2, I think.
Yeah, because I doubt they show us him dying because it's kind of mysterious how he dies. There's a lot of people that think that Queen Alicent actually poisoned him.
Poisoned his ass.
And then there's natural causes. He doesn't have
Hippocrates or whatever it was.
Hippocrates.
She put
Yeah, like he doesn't have like a dramatic death. He kind of just dies.
Yeah, he's asleep, right?
We don't know how. Like, he doesn't get his head chopped off at the Sept of Baelor. He doesn't get killed at the Red Wedding-ish, like, traitor dinner. Like, he doesn't die at his wedding feast. Like, he doesn't have a dramatic death. So I don't necessarily think they need to show us him dying. But like what you're saying, like how John Aaron is just kind of just laid out. But it would be cool, like, if the, like, cold open of season 2 is, like, the dude running to tell them he's dead.
Ooh.
And then we get that good shot. Remember that meme where someone has trash outside their front house and outside the front of their house and it says not a body?
Yeah.
That's Allison's ass.
We have another super chat from Josh. Triple OG Josh in the Discord. So excited for this stream. Thank you all for this. Shout out to all the moms in this community and fandom. Hope all of you have a great Mother's Day. Sending peace, love, positive vibes everyone's way. Thank you for the super chat and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the fandom. Mothers, aunties, godmoms, whatever. Happy Mother's Day. If you got a coochie, basically happy Mother's Day. And if you got a PP, happy Mother's Day too.
Yeah.
Sorry. So anyway.
I'm very. Have I mentioned how glad I am to be back with everyone? Because that's the thing. We all talk to each other regularly.
Yes.
But we haven't all been together like this
in a while.
So we bring out the best in each other's conversing skills, I think.
Yeah. So one of
the my allergies are like.
You're like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
My allergies are killing me right now, but I love you guys, so we're here.
So one of the things I wanted to discuss, because I felt like a lot of people in my comments of my trailer breakdown were talking about that dragon in the trailer. I want to talk about the dragons actually, but in the trailer there is a shot of the dragons, of a dragon going over King's Landing, flying over King's Landing. And there's some debate about who that dragon is. Somebody somewhere, I feel like, must have said that dragon was Cyrax, because everybody's like, that dragon is Cyrax. Was it you?
In my breakdown video, which on my channel. But yeah, I thought it was Cyrax because it looks kind of like a goldish colored dragon. And
it did look gold.
When I zoomed in, it looked like the person had long hair that was riding it. So I just assumed it was Rhaenyra riding through the red, like by the Red Keep. Just being a badass because she is. So I
would assume if it were, Jesus, I don't remember the names anymore. Goldfire. What was the name?
Sunfire.
Sunfire. That's who I thought it was at first. But
I feel like if it were Sunfire, it would be so much more. Like they would definitely put a crap load into the Sunfire budget. Like that dragon would be absolutely iridescently gold.
I hope so.
And then it's like that dragon's
supposed to be the baddest.
He's too big. He's too big to be Sunfire, because Sunfire isn't born until like what, Aegon? That's Aegon's egg that hatched, and he's supposed to be like the most beautiful dragon to the known world. He's like gold, pink wing membranes, and all this stuff. So the dragon that I've seen had red wing membranes. If you zoom in when the wings are going up and you just pause it, it's red underneath. So I'm like, okay, is it Caraxes? But then if it is Caraxes, I kind of feel like, what the fuck are y'all doing, guys? Because Caraxes is like red all over. He's the red worm.
I think he's still going to be. They kind of alluded in concept art, didn't they? They kind of alluded to him having a red dragon, unless I'm completely making that up. I mean,
no,
my brain's not working because I said Goldfire. Like, I haven't read the series. So anyway, I do believe that it's Cyrax. If it were, because I think one thing that they're going to do is they are going to make the desecration of Sunfire absolutely tragic. When Sunfire starts looking busted, we're going to feel a certain way. So I think they're just going to make him this really beautiful, like, catches your eye, no doubt in your mind.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's him. That is she. That is, yeah. I think
the baddest dragon in Westeros.
That's the HBIC. No, yeah, I do think so. But like there was another dragon that came up in the trailer at the end where I guess we'll talk about what the fuck was Daemon doing? Where was that? But that dragon looked like Drogon. It was black. And I was like, is that cannibal?
Oh, so my guesstimate was sheep stealer as like an early Nettles Easter egg, like kind of when they're looking for eggs to give Myssaria's baby. I'm thinking that might be around when that scene takes place.
Oh, and you know what? It could have been brown because brown and black look kind of the same at night.
Yeah, that was my thing because like, oh, he runs to sheep stealer, set up Nettles like way down the line type of Easter egg thingy.
Yeah.
I was thinking it might because you can't quite see the color of it. I definitely didn't, because in my mind, when I knew he was in there and you first see the glow from the flames, I was like, okay, Caraxes. I didn't necessarily see red, but in the event that we do see a little bit more red, that might be the moment, because it looked like the dragon pit, which is why I would rule out any of the wild dragons. It might be the moment that he claimed Caraxes, because this show is definitely doing flashbacks.
Oh, that would be
they
cool.
are. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because was his hair short or long? Because I noticed
it was
in this.
long.
Okay.
Was it like kind of like in this range?
It's like a cut.
The horsehair. Oh, look at Kato. He wants out.
Kato, what are you doing?
He's like, let me
calm down. No, he's tormenting his sister. Not today. So in the first teaser that they dropped, and you can hear Daemon like walking, like the first teaser opens up and he's like walking and he's holding that torch. So that is an extended part of that scene. So that also made me think, could it be Vhagar? Because I feel like there's a very interesting dynamic between Daemon and Vhagar, because Daemon was with Laena. Laena, of course, rode Vhagar, and they were together all the time, which makes the God's Eye shit really fucking sad.
I have a sad statement to make in regards to that. What if that's him visiting Vhagar after Lena's death?
I was just thinking that. Like, what if it's
my heart?
Like, what if Driftmark has its own little makeshift dragon pit? Because there's no way that Driftmark wouldn't have, at least in a show canon. Like, I know it's not mentioned in the books, but I feel like I would build some. Yeah, no, because even in the books, there's some sort of like stable for the dragon.
The dragons lived there for years.
Yeah.
And it's so close to Dragonstone too, so
I think it's him coming to talk to Vhagar, and Vhagar like, get the fuck out of here, like it's your fault.
You're not daddy anymore.
We don't like you anymore. You can't sit with us. That's Vhagar. Shout out to the Fernando Pug for the super chat. Game of Thrones known for dragons, incest, and sex. House of the Dragon, hold my arbor gold. By the way, so happy to see you girls again. Thank you for the super chat. We also have another super chat. I zoomed in and Rhaenyra is in the saddle with the reins from Tonweir Beckett. So yeah, that was another thing. There are dragon saddles, which we did kind of see that in season 8. Yes.
Can I give Mandy a really quick pointer? Because I do this during streams all the time. Okay, Mandy, get the camera to focus on the lines of your palm, like hyper focus, and then pull your hand back really quick. She still looks good though. Looks like she's setting up a tripod.
So she's
But yeah, I remember one time I was streaming with Tony and I kept trying to get my camera to focus. And he's like,
"You're doing a high five.
Yeah, there you go, girl." Yeah.
Sorry. I'm not at home with my things and I'm frustrated with everything. So we're just gonna sit like this for a while.
Okay.
Me.
But I do think that this, because in the books, even though it's written from a historic perspective, you still get a really good feel of what they're probably going through emotionally, because you know how George writes things. You know how George writes things. You know how George gets things. He has a very specific style that we are very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we know he's part of the writing team for House of the Dragon, you know that this is every way he has wanted to elaborate all these years. Now is his chance.
Yeah.
Like right down to, it looks like Massaria is a main character. She's got herself a little character poster, and I'm excited to see that expanded upon. So I do think that, especially with so many dragon writers around, we're finally going to get a really good explanation in show about how dragon bonds work and about how dragon writing works.
Yes. And
Yes.
that's one of the things I'm super excited for. Besides like this being the time where in this history, in this story, in Westeros, I feel like it was the height of magic. I did a whole video on like, this is the most magic there's ever been in this universe at this time, besides when Valeria was around.
Which makes sense.
Right. And it's like, you see, like with Game of Thrones, you see it start out with no magic, and then it like ascends into the birth of dragons, and the glass candles are burning again, and the what is it? There's a time for legends and heroes. Yeah, so this is that time. This is that time period. We're gonna actually see it unfold, and I'm just here for it. And then George being a part of it, as bad as I want Winds of Winter, as bad as I want to read that book, I will. I can wait more. I can wait longer if it means that he's going to be a part of this writing team and putting all the details that he couldn't fit into a book into the series.
Yeah, I actually am interested. Oh, sorry. What were you going to say, Mandy? Oh, I was interested to see kind of because in Fire and Blood, we kind of get multiple perspectives on the events that are happening. So I'm wondering who's going to be the most accurate. Part of me wants it to be Mushroom because he's nasty. And I like that. I like his take on things. I was like, oh, that's sinister. I like it. Drama.
Yeah. That's sexually sinister. I want it to be true.
Like, yes, I do want Daemon to be responsible for all of these bad things because he's horny. Yeah, I like that.
You know what? Is Daemon a Scorpio?
I think so.
100%.
Is Daemon a Scorpio?
100%.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Scorpio.
I feel like Corlys Valerian's definitely like a Taurus or a Capricorn.
I was gonna say Cap energy, big Cap energy.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Okay, like Virgos are very particular. Yes, Virgos are very particular, and they're willing to put in the work for their particularness. Okay? Tauruses are very, very stubborn and determined, but Capricorns make that blend together. Like, I'm particular, and I'm going to do the work to make it happen. What's on top of it, I'm very stuck in my ways. It's not that it won't change, but you got to make it make sense to me. And that's Corlys Valerian.
Oh, also the money thing.
How much you want to bet, like, Aemon One Eye is like a Cancer?
Yeah, I was going to say, whatever the worst one is, Cancer. It's...
Real Tea Talk said, who would be a Sagittarius? Rhaenyra.
Rhaenys. Oh, I'll say Rhaenys. Or Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra, she doesn't really give me Sag vibes. Do you know who does give me Sag vibes? Mushroom gives me Sagittarius vibes. Mushroom is a Sagittarius. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I would say Bela gives me big Sagittarius vibes too. Her and when she hopped, she's just she's the adventurous twin. And it's, I think of Sagittarius and I think adventurous and not giving a flying flip. And that is Mushroom and that is Bela.
And Arya.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Did they say Arya reminds a lot of people a lot of Bela? Or am I mixing her up?
Arya Targaryen? Or Arya?
Yeah, Arya. Like, I feel like somebody compared Arya to Bela, or I'm confusing Arya with another kid.
I don't know.
Like, behavior-wise, like, they just be doing the most.
Arya, Bela really reminds me of Arya.
What is Alicent's sign?
I'm so glad you asked. Cancer.
Nah.
I would say Cancer. Because here's the thing. As much as we love to rag on cancers, especially cancer men, mostly cancer men, I don't have a whole lot of issues out of cancer women. Anyway, cancers do tend to be a nurturing type for their people. Alicent does a lot wrong, but everything she does, a lot of it is for power, but everything she does is for her kids.
See, I was gonna say Taurus because Tauruses are very similar, and also they're like Venus, and she's like mad, like pretty and into like pretty shit. So I was thinking Taurus for her, and she's very.
She probably has the Taurus moon.
I was gonna say Libra. Libra. Libras love to be beautiful. Just saying.
Call Easy says, "Is the clubfoot a Gemini?" And I'm just gonna go ahead and say yes. Wait, no.
Laris. Yes, no, that fits. Laris, the clubfoot.
Yeah, Laris,
because he's the master of whispers.
Because he is very smart, and I can tell you, like, and this isn't just because I'm a Gemini. I've never met a dumb Gemini.
I have.
Stop. Oh yeah, you have. But it's a dude. It's a dude.
Okay, so is Laris.
I've never met a dumb female Gemini.
Okay, but Laris is not female.
We don't know what he is.
Okay.
No, you're right.
I know. I know I'm right. I know.
Anyway, off of the horoscope and astrologies, we have a super chat from Aiden Evans. Thank you for the super chat. Hi, gang. So happy to see y'all back with another stream. The long night is almost over. Got all my friends and fam on Team Black. Mom lost it when she had me tell her Alicent lives. Much love, Dracarys. But does she live?
I was gonna say, but does she?
Listen.
It's like Ilaria. It's like how Ilaria lived. Like, did she really live after Cersei captured her?
Alicent died alone, and that's what counts. And I'm only saying that because she's a fictional character. Otherwise, I would feel too horrible. But anyway, she dies alone, and that is exactly what her mechanizations earned her.
Yeah, I agree with what Swagger Dagger says. If you can call that living, she was pretty. I don't know.
So she could have actually still got visitation with, Jaehaera, had she not encouraged an 8-year-old girl who, it's speculated she had developmental delay. Had she not encouraged her to, do a murder.
Yeah.
So when I say she died alone because of her own mechanizations, she completely and utterly, she designed that for herself inadvertently.
And what was like funny, know who would do something really similar in like a kind of dumbass situation just like that?
Cersei.
Yeah.
That's who.
So
we're just going to keep paralleling them.
Yeah,
so I said that I got a lot of like people like, they have nothing in common. Cersei and Queen Ella said to have nothing in common. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Are we like watching the same shit?
So they don't have to be carbon copies of one another.
And they're not.
Be very similar. Yeah.
They're not, but they're very similar. And one of the like most direct similarities is like when in Game of Thrones, when Cersei at the end of the crossroads, when Nymeria bites Joffrey, Cersei's like basically wants Robert to whip her through the streets. Like that's basically what she wants her to do. And it's the same thing with Alicent.
Settles for killing a wolf.
Right. And it's the same thing with Alicent.
Yeah, sorry to get mad. She wanted an 8-year-old beat.
Right. She wanted her hand cut off. Because remember when she's thinking later, I think it's in Feast. Or it's either in Feast. Yeah, it's Feast. Because Jaime's having a flashback about having sex with Cersei. And in between strokes and moans, she was saying all she could focus on was how she wanted Jaime to go get Arya's hand. And
and think about it. Alicent wants I want to say
eye for an eye.
Luke is like 6.
Yeah. She wants his
Alicent wants a 6-year-old's eye to be taken out.
Can you imagine?
6. That is a first grader.
Yeah.
I think about the 6-year-olds that run around. I think about the 6-year-olds that run around my school. And I can tell you right now, if you put a sharp object in 70% of their hands, they will accidentally poke somebody's eye out because that's how 6-year-olds are.
Yeah.
That's
They,
why
they
the
still
Christmas
kind of like
story-
slightly have that toddler syndrome where they don't always have like full control of their limbs. You know how toddlers just when they run, it's just this melee of limbs going all over the place.
Jonathan Vegas said Luke Harris is a G for that. He really is. But no, like that's what but I feel like they're very similar. And I did a video on Queen Alicent and I like said that there's some Marjorie Tyrell up in there because she isn't, I feel like she's smarter than Cersei. Like Cersei's kind of dumb.
See, I feel like both Alicent and Cersei are cut from the Visenya cloth.
Ooh.
No, I don't think either one of them fucking compare to Visenya.
In the sense of like
I want to
politically?
hear. No, I want to hear this. I want to hear
They
this.
do for the betterment of their children in their minds. And that was Visenya's main focus was Maegor over Rhaenyra's children. Or you know what I mean? Not Rhaenyra, Rhaenys children. There's too many R names.
Right.
But I feel like they did what they did for their kids. And so that would be like it's not even like a saving trait. Like it doesn't make them any better, but it gives them at least some kind of motivation that someone somewhere could possibly understand. Okay, she's doing it for her kids, but like you're still trash.
Yeah.
I like Potato Lord's comment. The comment people love Alicent like Marjorie, which is where I definitely could see the comparison there. She also found a way to seduce a king, kind of like how she seduced Joffrey. Because let's keep it real, Marjorie surprisingly could keep Joffrey under somewhat control, even though I feel like that control is very tenuous at best because Joffrey's a loose cannon. But she used her feminine wiles to do so, and Alicent gives me that same vibe.
So for Alicent, Cersei, Visenya, to me, Visenya was the epitome of a good, powerful, smart, calculating ruler. Like Aegon was the king, but only in name. Like Visenya was running that shit. Like Visenya is the one that formed the King's Guard. Like Visenya.
No, absolutely. She's the one that did it right, but they took her principles and flipped it to suit their own means. Like she was powerful. She was in control. She, for all intents and purposes, as far as we know, was a good person. Like she wasn't conniving to the point of like destroying people's lives like the other two, but she had it in her.
Yeah, she did.
I think Visenya was. I think Visenya was far too blunt and straightforward to really be conniving. Like she had raw, unadulterated physical power in multiple aspects. She had the smarts. I don't think she really needed to be conniving to get what she wanted. But I'm not condoning some of the actions she took, especially if she did have a hand in, hurrying up Aenys's demise.
Yeah.
But from her perspective, as y'all pointed out, she's already running the show. Now, Rhaenys was more like, okay, I understand the importance of finessing things, but you can't run a kingdom just from finessing things. Like, because it was Rhaenys that made like the marriage pacts, and she knew to be, to throw money at singers and mummers because she understood the importance of a good reputation. So it's not like Rhaenys didn't have good ideas herself. However, the child of Aegon, who let his sister Visenya run things because he was like, and a queen that was like, I love the arts and all things beautiful. And Rhaenys would be a Libra now that I think about it. But I think in Visenya's mind, yes, she wanted to advance her child. And also, I think in her mind, she kind of saw the doom of House Targaryen in Aenys.
I also was going to point this out. Visenya is the eldest child, and she's more capable of a ruler than her brother. And I feel like a part of her, like, how she went about things was like, the only reason I'm not the king is because I'm a woman. but I do the work. I can fight just as great as he does. Look, I got a Valerian steel sword too, and I almost cut you, and you weren't gonna stop me. Like, she's physically, like you brought up, she's physically capable, which we don't really see that often with women in power in Westeros. No, obviously we got like Arya can fight. Arya's a child. What is she doing right now? Brienne also can fight, but she's not really a political leader. But like if Cersei could fight like how Jaime fought, Cersei would have gotten a lot accomplished. Let me tell you that. That's how Visenya was able to do that.
Yeah, that's the
and she had a dragon.
Stark difference. Yeah, that's the stark difference between Visenya, Cersei, Alicent. Like Cersei and Alicent have power because of who they married and their children.
And how much money their family has.
Yeah, and their family's wealth. Where Visenya is like a self-made. Visenya's like a self-made bitch. Like, I can fight with this sword, or I can burn you with my dragon. I'm also very smart. Like.
I don't mean to be that woman. I don't mean to be, as they say in Righteous Gemstones, I don't mean to be that guy in the safe house situation, but is Visenya really self-made?
I mean, she's not like, she's like self-made, like Kylie Jenner is fucking self-made. Like,
okay, all right.
None of these bitches are self-made, except for maybe Mysaria.
But no, here's something that people need to understand about Alicent Hightower. She not only had the wiles, but she definitely had the wit because she was the daughter of a non-firstborn son.
Yep.
So, I mean,
he's got small dick syndrome. Mm-hmm. So he's overcompensating through his child. Mm-hmm. Such a bitch. I hate him.
We've said this multiple times, but it is huge Anne and Thomas Boleyn vibes.
Yeah, because I was going to say his, because if I'm not mistaken, she has 2 younger brothers, Alicent, right?
Yeah.
I know she has at least a brother,
right. I know she has at least one brother, Gawain. I feel like it's
Gawain, yeah. Something like that. Somewhat a G, Garth Gawain. I don't know. Jeezy.
Wanted to say so Jeezy. Happy to see y'all back. We're happy to be back. We're happy to. I don't know. One thing I really missed was I really miss interacting with y'all. Actually, like that's
your makeup looks phenomenal. By the way, sorry, just throw that out there. Tranquil Ashes. Your makeup's on point.
On point. Yes. Everything about that picture is on
It's Gwen. It's
Gwen. You're giving.
I was gonna say it's giving power. It's giving power for me. Okay.
It's giving Byron blood. Sorry.
Do we no, but I was gonna say, do we have stills of the trailer? Should we
don't have stills.
Okay, that's okay. We can go analog.
I'll get stills of the trailer right now. Y'all talk. Okay. I got you.
Actually, while you're gathering that, I have a good question to ask everybody. Because we kind of talked about it briefly. For season 1, what do you think the timeline is going to be?
All over the place. I'm already confused.
So that's all right. So I should ask a follow-up question to that question. Do you think we're going to start in the past and then move forward to the present, like chronologically, or have kind of like the past and present running concurrently?
I think the past and present are going to run concurrent.
I think it's going to be more than just like flashbacks. I think we're going to have a whole like storyline from the past that's going to reach a point where they're going to kind of collide.
Okay. Kind of like
they're going to juxtaposition each other quite a bit, I think.
Probably.
I think it's kind of going to be along the same veins of the way The Witcher decided to do its timeline in the first season. The only difference would be, I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and say at least 70% of the people that are watching House of the Dragon were Game of Thrones watchers. So they're a bit more familiar with how stuff works in that universe. So, I mean, the thing about The Witcher, if you went into it as a casual viewer that didn't know anything, that took it took a few calories to kind of put together what was going on.
I need to watch it before I understood what the fuck was going on.
Oh, I watched so many videos to break that down for me.
That little bastard that was the little kid at the party. How is he a grown-ass man now? I was so fucking confused, y'all.
Well, that's what gave away that they were jumping around on the timeline. But anyway, I'm going back. I think that House of the Dragon is going to be cut from the same cloth, but just in a less sloppy way. Oops. I'm not trying to rag on The Witcher, but something they need to realize is they threw a lot of exposition out at us while they were jumping all over the timeline. And
let's be honest, there's a lot of history that is pertinent to the Dance of the Dragons that's going to have to be.
Sorry, Mandy, go ahead.
No, I was done. Go ahead, babe.
The Witcher fucking sucked. I did a video on like how hard it was to follow and how and that's for somebody that's read it. Like it was hard to follow and like a lot of shit just didn't make sense and it was all over the place. But I like this series called Cruel Summer. I don't know if any of you have watched it, but it like
kind of like the movie.
No. It's a series. It's on like Hulu, I think. But it kind of like jumps from 1999 to from 97, and I don't know. It's 3 time periods that they show every episode all at the same time for the different characters, and the way that you differentiate what time period is what is by the hair.
Oh,
the hair color or the haircut.
No, what I just thought of is a good example of how they could do it. How Yellow Jackets does the 1996 to the present day. That is a great example of running 2 things concurrently, also using younger actors versus elder actors. They nailed it. But I'm going to contradict everybody. I think it's going to be linear.
Really?
And my big prediction here, this is bold, super bold. All right. If I'm right, I'm going to cry. Super Bowl prediction. You guys can slay me August 21st if I'm wrong. So you know how Game of Thrones opens with the prologue as the cold open?
Mm-hmm.
I think our cold open is going to be the Council of 101. Because I feel like that sets up so much of the conflict, kind of like how supposed to be big conflict of the show was the White Walkers, which somehow got resolved in 1 episode. Besides the point. Moving forward.
It's all an intention. The intentions were good.
It started off so well. But no, I think starting with the Great Council of 101, because that's kind of the crutch that they use for why they think Aegon should rule over Rhaenyra is based off of what happened there. And we get that shot of Harrenhal, so I'm pretty positive we're seeing it. Like, I'm pretty positive we're seeing that event happen.
So I can say I feel we're definitely going to see the Great Council of 101. And that was one of my favorite shots of the trailer. Harrenhal looked so good. Like, you know that in A World of Ice and Fire, there's that shot of the Great Council of 101 where they actually show Harrenhal. I feel like they captured that. That's as soon as I seen it, I knew what it was. And that was before I seen all the the cavernous, or however you say it, cavernous ceiling. Yeah, it was before I even seen all that. But there was another thing I wanted to talk about. That box that they bring in to the Great Council of 101.
What's in the box? I'm just kidding.
What is the box? What is it?
What's in the box?
All I could think, I was going to say, that's all, I could only think of 2 things. 7 and that scene in season 3 of Game of Thrones where Varys is like, I got to my revenge. When he's like, he's got the wizard in a box. With my wizard in a box. Okay.
Yo, what if it's a mushroom in the box and he just jumps out like, hey, hey, sis.
I was going to say, pulls a Madison. Is like, hey, bitch, you thought you saw the last of me?
But I would imagine whatever it was, because at first I thought, okay, maybe it's the council when I saw the box. First I thought it was the council, then I thought maybe it was the wedding, but then I'm like, no, because dowries are given before the wedding. However, it might be, I don't know, whatever is in that box, obviously the trailer is like, hey, whatever they Go ahead.
Sorry, what were you gonna say? No, I was gonna say I put out 3 guesses in my trailer breakdown, and it was votes, a crown, or dragon eggs. Those are my guesses, and after that, I don't have
Oh
any
yeah,
more
because
guesses.
doesn't a king like a gold cloak bring Rhaenyra the crown?
Yeah,
Like,
but that's
her-
after they
that's
defect
way,
from.
yeah, that's way far, and that's
Yeah,
definitely
okay.
Harrenhal. That's Harrenhal.
Do you know
that
what
got
it could
the
be?
box
Do you
set.
know what it could be? It could be from the Valerians. Something that Corlys brings not so much to bribe people, but to remind them of how much wealth and power they have so that they can vote on Laenor. Like how much of a good idea. Because Laenor did have. Yep.
I like that.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
We have a super chat from David DiCario. +1, happy to see you're back. Can't wait to see all of you cover the House of the Dragon. Yeah, the Witcher timeline was all jumbled. LOL. Thank you for the super chat. We also have another super chat from Michael James. Thank you for the super chat. What lands outside of Westeros do you think we will see?
No.
So we're definitely going to see the Stepstones.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pentos, because Laena gives birth.
Yeah.
Laena gives birth to the twins in Pentos. So
and they travel around. Laena and Daemon be traveling around. I actually think, you know, that shot where Daemon has the short hair
Mm-hmm.
and he's in the trailer. I think he's looking at Laena coming into the wedding. Or
she looks gorgeous. She looks gorgeous in that shot.
Yes.
Like everybody else looks great, but I'm just like looking at her like to the like side, like, ooh, hey.
Speaking of the Valerians, can we talk about how they're featuring that family? Now, we already love her from the books, but we are going to stan one queen that never was. I just know it. They are, first of all, they gave her a speaking line, which I know that I realize the bar is in hell, but I'm just like, they let her speak. Okay. But she seems like she's going to be very, very, very prominent throughout the show.
Yeah.
I think that,
that line pulled up.
Like men would rather see the realm burn than
I got it right here.
Okay.
Men would sooner put the realm to the torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne.
Okay. Yes. Real quick. Let's do a refresher. I've uploaded the trailer. So let's do a refresher. Let's watch the trailer real quick together, and then we're gonna pick it apart.
Okay.
I don't know if I can pause it. Let's try.
The Dance of Dragons. It's the story of the fight between Rhaenyra.
That's not it. It must be this. What the fuck?
Wait, was that supposed to?
I have no idea. It says House of the Dragon official trailer 2022. Oh, no.
I was like, I've never seen this trailer before. We're about to. That's a treat for me.
Trailer.
Okay. Y'all thought I had some exclusive shit. Bro, that shit ain't it either.
I was gonna say, I was like, what are you doing?
Never fucking mind.
Look at the date. Know. Well, look at the date on it. If it was from a few days ago, I think it's it. I think it's.
This is fun.
This sucks.
We're so ghetto.
Hey guys, you missed us. You've been asking for this, all right?
Listen,
I think for us to come back, we are back in all of our glory. I think a
huge part of our charm is that we are a hot mess, to be honest.
Saucy mess.
Wait, did I just realize our nuncle is here?
He is. I've been waiting.
Nunk's here?
Did I walk into technical difficulties, bro?
Yes, bro. Yes.
That's why you guys love us.
Let me try this one. Wait, I have to upload this one. Bro,
third time's the charm.
Let's hope this one works. Guys,
That's
by the
enough.
time the season starts and we're doing like our after show, I think I'll have it together. And I don't think this is the only trailer we're gonna get because
Listen,
Oh no.
they said
Forget
this is a teaser. This is a teaser trailer.
plus, couple things going on here. Okay, I realize while Aegon and people around his age are young, they still need to preface what the hell is going on, because so far they're leaning back on the fact that, like, because if you think about it, they've given us no plot details. just fire and blood, literal fire and blood, because they already know they don't have to give us plot details. For an actual trailer, though, they're going to give a little more premise. In order for them to give premise, we better finally see even a young Aegon II.
Okay, guys, I think I got it now.
Okay.
Well, here we go.
Fingers fucking crossed.
If not, just give up.
What is this brief mortal life, if not the pursuit of legacy?
I, Rickon Stark.
I, Corlys Valerian. I, Ormond Baratheon.
Promise to be faithful
To King Viserys.
and to his named heir.
Princess Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra Targaryen.
Men would sooner put the realm to the torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne.
We play an ugly game. You have the determination to win it.
Okay, I had to stop it right there.
I was going to say, I was like, you are about to give us plot.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I just came to realize, I think that opening scene where it talked about legacy. Sorry, I'm a little tipsy at this point. Anyway, I think that was Corlys Valerian saying that. I think it was. And also, I kind of noticed his facial expression while he was pledging fealty. And it was very much like, at that point, it was like, well, I have to. But he was still salty. So this was before the betrothal to Laenor. Now that I'm refreshed, can we talk about how they're going to recycle in the best of ways the Fire and Blood theme? Because it wasn't just a Dany theme in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It was called Fire and Blood, meaning it was a House Targaryen theme, which I really do feel like Game of Thrones, Dan and Dave, they kind of fumbled the bag with Dany. So I think that George and the writers of House of the Dragon are going to go out of their way to make up for that with this show, which means we're going to see a whole lot of humanizing of bad choices, and I'm here for it. Now, I'm not saying in my real life I think bad choices are acceptable, but you know what I mean. It's entertainment.
Like, since you brought Dan and Dave up, I do want to talk about that for a second. Like, I know a lot of people are kind of already like soured towards House of the Dragon because of the way that Game of Thrones season 8 ended, or because this is the way Game of Thrones ended in general. But they're not a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ryan Condal is actually the writer, and there are some people still on from Game of Thrones. Ramen Noodle, whatever.
Ramen Noodle.
What is his name? Ramen Djawadi? Ramen Djawadi.
Yes, and then they got Miguel Sapochnik back as well.
Why does no one on there have regular names? Well, Ryan Condal does.
So what they did was they employed people that weren't necessarily American, and you know, so just. I'm sorry,
they just don't have anglicized names, which is cool.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's more than fine for me. I think here in the United States of America, we get more than our daily dose of Anglo-Sax. So I like to spice things up with other cultures.
I just can't pronounce shit. But so I make up things like Nickelodeon, Costco, Walmart. It's Jamie
That's
Lannister.
a good ramen noodle gelati.
But yeah, They have him. They have Miguel. They have, but Ryan.
George. They have George.
They have George.
They have George. The way I view it is like, yes, it's still HBO, because part of the reason, if I may, and I need to do these mental gymnastics at night. Okay, I do. But when it comes down to it, those last 2 seasons, HBO was pushing Dan and Dave hard. Like, they were breathing down their necks. And I think that, like we talked about with, if this show is kept to about 4 or 5 seasons, you're not going to get as much writing fatigue, is not as much pressure from the network. But something people need to realize, George himself is helping with the mantle. It is a different showrunner. It's a different, yes, they brought on people from the old show, but these people really made magic happen that made us fall in love with Game of Thrones to begin with. When I think about how Game of Thrones went to the crapper, I think about show fatigue. So I don't think, I mean, with this story in itself, you cannot make Fire and Blood. You cannot make House of the Dragon last any more than 4 or 5 seasons. So I personally have much more faith in it. And I'm just trying to, ease people's minds as to why maybe they should give it a chance too.
I agree with Dakota here. There's an actual writer's room, which is a big difference between the last series. Also, one thing I'm really excited about, Ryan Condal is an actual really big A Song of Ice and Fire fan. Yeah. Like, he has this great story. He mentions on the Dreams Are Made Of podcast. It's an interview that they have with George on that podcast and Ryan. But he mentions how, like, he had George was, I guess, at a book signing. So he had like this old copy of one of the books, and it had a bunch of notes in it and like flags and all this other stuff. And he like ran up to try to get it signed. And I guess they were trying to sign only new copies, but he's like, I don't have one. And George is like, I prefer to see it like how you have it, like you've been picking it apart. So that's the first time they met. So he already got off on a good foot of like, clearly this guy actually analyzes my material.
Yeah. I mean, but
I just thought about
Dan and Dave were like that in the beginning.
Yeah, I think they got show fatigue. Honestly, the more
but they also
first of all, they took on a very big project.
They didn't have
there was no way.
That lack of a writer's room changes things.
They took on a huge project. Like I said, plain and simple, Dan and Dave, they disappointed us all. But in hindsight, in retrospect, that would have happened to any of us. It really would have. And quite a few elements of it. Well, I'm going to say, I don't think that under those circumstances, I could have done a whole lot better. I think they were tired. I think they were under a lot of pressure. I think they were kind of writing solo after they realized they exceeded.
The thing with them, they never asked for help. Like, they never said, I'm tired of this. Like, I don't blame HBO. Like, Game of Thrones is HBO's biggest fucking IP. Like, it's not even just HBO's biggest IP. It's one of the globally biggest IPs ever. And HBO's like, yeah, I'll give you however much money you want to make it good. I don't give a fuck. Like, they did not they have unlimited dollars.
Do you know what we should do? We should, at another point, ask Sam if Dan and Dave ask for help or not.
No, they didn't. They didn't say, like you're saying, they're tired of it, like show fatigue. So at that point, pass the baton. They were
passionate about it
to someone else.
Sorry, this is gonna sound like weird. I just don't think they were as passionate about it compared to someone like Ryan Condal. Like, Ryan Condal to me is coming off like the Dave Filoni of A Song of Ice and Fire. So for my Star Wars fans, if you know who Dave Filoni is, he's like the guy behind The Mandalorian, The Clone Wars, Book of Boba. He's one of the producers for Kenobi. Like, he's George Lucas's chosen one, and I feel like Ryan Condal is essentially working his way to. If this show goes off the way I think it is, he's going to be George's like. This is the guy. Whatever he says goes, like, type of thing.
Yeah. Alicia?
So, Ara, when you first told me that story about the book in tatters and all written and all that other stuff, I had never heard that story before, but the very first thing that came to my mind was, because most people know by now, I went to a Christian college. I went to college with a lot of people that had Bibles like that. And so in my mind, when you told that story, I'm like, oh no, this is going to be good, because that man sees the source material as the holy damn text.
Yep.
The holy text. So I love to hear it. But,
yeah, so I'm pumped.
So Mandy's been
looking at the shots.
Mandy's been very quiet, and her and I were kind of like talking on the phone earlier before we got onto the stream, and she kind of dropped a little bit of, I don't know if it's relevant or not, but she kind of like dropped a little bit of a nugget that I was really excited to hear her talk about.
Let's hear it.
Are you talking about the attempted murder?
I don't remember what it was. I just remember being like,
what is it when Queen Alicent's trying to kill fucking Rhaenyra with the asshole?
Yes, that's the one with the dagger.
Okay, so we don't have any like proof of that like ever actually occurring. So I thought maybe it was a dragon dream.
I did too.
And Rhaenyra just saw her coming for her throat. And that was like her indicator that this bitch is going to be a problem. Like, not only is she trying to steal my crown, she's trying to kill me.
So for context, for some of the listeners that aren't following, the part in the trailer where Alicent goes running up with the dagger and tries to stab Rhaenyra with it, I was telling Mandy that was not on my bingo card. And Mandy was like, I think it was a dragon dream. And I remember doing my mascara and being like, yes, bitch. Yes.
Yeah, so I was thinking something very similar. I'm just gonna be that annoying guy in my trailer breakdown. But yeah, I just was a dream because I was like, how the hell do you get that close, queen or not, that close to the heir apparent with the open weapon? Even though you do see Harold Westerling in the back kind of doing one of these quick little like, oh shit. But like, she got pretty far with that knife out, but the distance between her and Rhaenyra.
And how do you not immediately get put to death?
Doesn't Harold Westerling die pretty early?
He dies around the time that oh my gosh, somebody else dies around that time. There's like a couple people that die relatively near each other, but he does die fairly.
I'm about to look it up. I gotta look it up.
Oh, know what? I'm confusing it with somebody. I'm confusing him with the Grand Maester. Never mind. Don't mind me. Because Melos dies too, and he's featured. Yeah, I really don't. If Viserys dies, I think he's dying at the very, very end of the season. Like, I think we're getting a lot of his reign.
So if Harold Westerling is still there, then this is early as shit because that's 112 AC. He dies in 112 AC.
I don't think Viserys is going anywhere till season 2.
Yeah, same.
Because
I mean, I know we
dies
predicted
in 129. So.
Yeah, I know we predicted early on that he was probably going to die at the end of season 1. And at the time, that felt like a really great prediction. But honestly, I don't think he's going anywhere till season 2. Because if you look at, and I realize they're holding back on a lot of tidbits because it's a teaser. But if you look at what they have thrown at us chronologically, if he dies in season 1, I'm going to be really shocked because I think one of the reasons they're not showing Aegon is because him as a little kid, I mean, he'd have to be little. It's not relevant to a teaser per se. I don't know if it would even be super relevant to a trailer except for a few snippets. Anyway, Viserys doesn't die until the kid, like the youngest is like 15 when Viserys dies. So, yeah.
We have a super chat from Greyways Tim, our moderator. Sweet summer moderator, Greyways Tim. Thank you for the super chat. So happy to see y'all back. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. Ara, hope Axel is giving you a break today. Me and my Damon are so excited for 821. Super excited. Thank you for the super chat. And you guys make sure you go check out Tim's channel. He does streams, live streams. He has very good content, very good essays.
Yeah, well. Thanks. Axel is taking a nap at the moment, so let's hope he stays that way.
So
he just opened his eyes.
He's probably
I saw a comment in the chat, and I want your guys' opinion on it. So if they are going back, we know Viserys was the last rider of Valerian the Black Dread. Do we see the Black Dread?
Oh, I would love that.
Oh, maybe when y'all were talking about the Black Dragon that you think you saw okay, that's uncondescending. What y'all feel like is the Black? Okay, the Black Dragon y'all saw. Okay,
too small.
Okay,
and Daemon's too old. But I was gonna say, we see in that first teaser trailer that skull with all
Like
the
a
candles.
funeral.
I think that's Valerion's skull. So because the shit's huge.
It's huge, yeah.
Huge. And he's like obviously minus Meraxes, Rhaenys' dragon that died in Dorne.
Mm-hmm.
Like of the three like conquerors dragons, if you will, Valerian died like within recent memory for this particular time period.
Yeah. And then the last one is Vhagar.
Vhagar, which
Valerian died and Viserys is So when all three dragons were living, Meraxes was the smallest of them. So because she was the youngest, or they were the youngest anyway, they were the youngest dragon. After Meraxes' death, the other dragons lived on for another like 150 years. They're only going to get bigger from there. So I can see that being Valerian's skull because it's huge. And also Valerian died in Viserys' youth. So he was probably in like his 20s or so when, and you know, the more I think about it, at first I was like, okay, well, Viserys.
Is Valerian alive at the Great Council?
Oh, good question.
That was 101.
I never thought about that. However, you know, I used to spend a lot of time being like, how
he died he died in 94.
Okay. Oh, because they used that so when they brought him up at the Great Council of 101, they had said, I can't remember the exact verbiage, but they had mentioned that Valerian had already died, but it was such a symbol of power that he mounted Valerian at all. And now that I think of it, it's like, you cowardly POS, you mounted the most tired old ass dragon and called it good. And then you called it good. Like, way to cut corners. Right. That is, to me, that's cheating. Yeah. That is cheating. Because I bet you when he mounted him, Valerian was like, what the hell?
And it's kind of actually, I'm kind of shocked that they chose Viserys over Laenor, because Laenor had sea smoke, right?
But sea smoke.
No, Laenor was a baby.
But
no, he had sea smoke yet.
Oh, he did. He had sea smoke, but sea smoke wasn't big enough to fly.
Laenor, Laenor was either a toddler or an.
He was 7.
Really? I thought he was a baby.
He was like a little kid. So they were like,
okay, but it's still, they didn't want a child. But in my mind, if Laenor was a little bit older, he definitely would have got it. Because, I mean, the Valerians and his mother was a straight up Targaryen.
And Rhaenys,
can I just say?
Melees.
Yeah, it's contradiction here. So it all kind of starts back when you go a little bit further. I want to say it's 92 AC. So a little bit before then, when Rhaenys' dad was the old king's eldest son. So after her dad died, Queen Alicent wanted her, Rhaenys, to be named as Princess of Dragonstone, because if she was a boy, that would not even have been a question. She would have been named Prince of Dragonstone, no matter what, just based off of primogeniture. The eldest child would be first. But because she was a girl, they were like, oh, let's just give it to Baelor because that's her uncle and he's the second born and he's a boy and he's older, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like that happening kind of led towards Viserys getting chosen, because it's like, well, Baelor was the last heir, so it's only natural it should be his son.
Can we talk about how the underwhelmingness, if that's a word, went on for a couple generations? Because Baelor, back in his day, he was a badass, but he died from a stitch in his side. He died from a bad gut. And then his child that ascended the throne was like, I don't know. We've talked about Viserys at length, but it's like,
No, Viserys low-key reminds me of a little, just very little bit. Very little.
Michael Scott.
No, I was going to say King Henry VIII in his old age when he started getting like gouty. Because before he used to be like... Yeah, because before he used to be all fit and stuff, and then he like falls off a horse and gets like gout, and then he just becomes like old gross
Nasty.
womanizer man,
Yeah.
and he just likes like revelry, and he didn't really do anything like militaristic that was like noteworthy. He tried, but he failed. And I feel like Viserys was the same way. He's like, I just want to turn up. Like,
I feel like as a non-ruler,
why are you here?
Viserys would have made as a non-ruler, Viserys would have made a really great dad. Part of what made him horrible as a dad was the decisions he made because he was a ruler and people had their different expectations of him, and he made poor decisions, according. But I mean, I don't dislike Viserys as a person. I just think he's an extremely ineffectual leader.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of like Ned Stark, where he just tries to like avoid conflict.
And creates even more by trying to avoid.
He
Robert.
Yes.
Robert at the end,
I was just gonna say
Bobby B. He's Bobby B to a T.
But many of the rulers during peaceful times appear that way because they get kind of complacent.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot of kinging to do. So they just kind of like live their lives and everyone's like, wow, you don't do shit. But like, what was there for them to do at the time?
Can we talk about how the single best Targaryen king was actually Visenya, and it just all went downhill from there?
Yeah.
Before we get into that, can I just go over these super chats real quick? One from Tanweer Beckett. Thank you for the super chat. Rhaenyra may be jumping in front of Lucerys' eye for an eye. I thought that too. That's what I said in my breakdown. But at the same time, if Westerling is still there, I don't think it can be that because he would have been long dead.
Yeah, because Sir Criston Cole's the leader of the Kingsguard at that point.
Yeah.
Because that happens at it's Laenor's funeral that happens at. I thought it was Laenor's. I do know they die in the same year, like within months of each other.
Yeah. I don't know which funeral it is, but it has to be after Laena's dead because Vhagar has to be free.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat, Nigerian Prince. If you have a question, just let us know in the comments. And thank you for the super chat, Norin Blythers. If you have a question, just put it in the comment section.
I think they do have questions, but it's just not loading because it's not normal for
two.
It's
usually
not
for a question.
Yeah.
Oh, quick thing that Felicia Munoz pointed out in the chat. Don't you think they maybe just want to keep Graham McTavish around for a bit? I could see that just because that's a big get. That's a big get for the series. So if they want to extend his death out a little bit further.
I mean, I think we all want to keep him around for a bit, don't we?
Hell yeah.
It's Graham McTavish. But no, Game of Thrones did that. They kept Beric Dondarrion is the ultimate example of
girl.
Should have been dead. Seasons ago.
Oh, you were here so you could get stabbed up and protect Arya. Got it.
We won't talk about it.
I did see another question that was just kind of a fun one. Who's your favorite dragon?
Oh, gee.
Wait, of all time or just
in this time period?
In the dance?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Moon Dancer because she did work. She did work. She may be small, but she was fierce. She did. Yeah. Whatever Shakespeare said about being small and fierce. She did work.
I'm going to go with Melee's. Just because I love me some Rainies, and just spoiler alert if you didn't read the book, but the way they go out is, I feel like it's going to be the most badass scenes we've ever seen.
Can we talk about how it describes Melee's as lazy, but she went out there and she was like, let's get this bread.
She's like, I still got it in me.
Still got it.
Let's keep it real. She whooped Sunfire's
No,
ass.
she was there for the bloodshed.
She left Sunfire's
That's
ass. She left Sunfire like limping, like, oh shit.
For me, you guys know, Sweet Summer Fam, you know how big of a fan I am of Visenya, so I'm gonna have to go with Vagar.
That hoary old bitch.
Yeah. Her Vagar, I also really like Tessarion because I feel like Tessarion has the blue flames, like she's cobalt blue, like she has those
Pretty.
She's very different than the other dragons, but
I have a
Vagar
thought
just
when
is that
Mandy's
bitch.
done. I have a thought when Mandy's done with her thought.
Mandy's.
It's Caraxes for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can,
Battle tried and tested.
with how well I know you, I'm
Ridden
not
Daily
surprised.
by Daemon Targaryen is basically the dream for any dragon.
I was going to
I
say,
wanna ride.
speaking of like Taraxes, can we talk about how Darian Targaryen didn't actually do anything wrong ever?
Do you think they're gonna include him?
Yeah.
I was
yes.
thinking if they reduce the kids, that would be a kid to reduce, but I feel like his death is kind of needed.
I was going to say they need to humanize the Greens, and a good way to humanize the Greens is to bring someone, because they can't skimp on Aemond, because you need Aemond, because he's such a Disney villain. And
Aemond is going to be so fun to watch.
In a very I hate you sort of way, yes.
Honestly, it's going to make me sad because if you guys watch The Last Kingdom, he's being played by Baby Monk. And I'm pretty positive the reason they killed Baby Monk was because he had a film for the show. So I'm excited to see him go from like a lovable like priest king bastard to be like this evil one-eyed villain with a sapphire in his eye, like a told chode. I can't wait.
He's gonna be fun. He's gonna be fun. But I do feel like the Greens could be humanized through Darian?
Yep,
and Helena.
And Helena.
Mm-hmm.
Because Helena's a very sympathetic.
Oh, I was gonna say they might skimp on her. However, they need. No,
you need Helena.
You need her.
Yeah.
Blood and
I
cheese,
guess
you need Helena.
Who else is gonna marry?
They might skip on that because they could very well. If Fire and Blood ends, listen,
that's their red wedding right there.
It's their red wedding. They need it.
True, very very
true. Because
that's
when blood is really drawn. Because it's like a son for a son. So it's like you have as sad as it's gonna be to watch.
This whole thing over Storm's End is their Sept of Baelor. That's their Sept of Baelor Battle of the Blackwater type shit. And the fucking comeback, the clapback from Daemon is definitely their red wedding.
Also, people are saying in the chat, and I think I did see this as well, Helena has been casted.
Yes, she's been casted.
So she's been cast.
I did not know. See, there are a few names that I'm nervous might not show up because I don't really think that any of the players in Dance of the Dragon can be skimped on.
Yeah. I think Mushroom is the only one that I could see why if they cut him, because he's basically telling the story. I don't want him to be cut. I love you so much.
In my mind, if you are bringing in Graham McTavish to play what's-his-face
Westerling, right.
You're not skimping on anything else. Yeah. You are absolutely... Though, where... I do want to see Bright Bones.
He's cast too. Oh, we haven't seen him in a trailer yet, but he has been cast. Which reminds me,
we've barely seen Laenor. Actually, we've barely seen him.
Well, we get that scene of them at their wedding where they're like dancing in this trailer, which I thought was super cute.
Yeah, his backside, but not the backside we want to see.
Didn't her hair look like Marjorie's hair when she married Joffrey?
Yeah, I am not a big fan of, except for Rhaenys, the queen that never was, that whole like whatever is holding her hair,
that bump
back here, it is kind of giving me Xenomorph vibes, but in a very like you pulled it off sort of way. However, I'm not, other than that hairstyle, I'm not big on when they do the big old
I love
the hives.
I love
it gives me racist white suburbs 50s.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Jackie O, but no,
Jackie O. I love that.
I love Rhaenyra's braided crown look in the scene where they're
swearing
pledging fealty. Yeah, I was going to use the word that they use in the book, but I was like, I had looked it up how to pronounce it earlier.
Obeisance.
Obeisance. Obeisance. I swear fealty, bro. We'll make it more than one word because I can't pronounce it.
I'll swear fealty, bro.
We have another super chat from Norm Blythers. Thank you for the super chat. Will y'all do live reactions when the show launches? So that is the plan, I believe. The plan is to do like after shows. Don't know if it's going to be after the show or the next day. Don't know what's going to be best. Why don't we do a poll? What's best for y'all? Because time zones and people getting to watch the show. And
we are doing watch parties in the Discord. We did that for all of season 7 and 8 in the Discord. We watched them all together and talked and reacted in the Discord server. So we're probably going to do that again. So if you want to join the Discord, please do. We have really fun watch parties, drinking games, all kinds of stuff. So as far as that goes, nothing much will change there. But yeah, I think an after show, like you said, day after would be fun.
And if you guys are in the Baltimore area, I'm thinking of hosting a watch party at a bar for the finale. But still got a lot to wrinkle out when it comes to that. Surgical left a super chat. Is there any video that breaks down all the dragons that will be in the show and what features they have? No, I do not have a video yet, but you just gave me an idea on what video to do next. So I'll do a video on that, actually. I have a video on the dragons. It's called The Height of Magic. It's on my, yes.
Hey, do y'all just want to go to Chicago for the finale? Because Nuncle said he's doing a grill out for the finale.
All right, Edric, we're just going to all come to Chicago.
That's just like 7-8 hours away from me,
Not even kidding. Summertime shy. Not even kidding. Also, right here is the link to the Discord.
Oh, and book club is on
Thursdays.
Mondays.
I said Mondays.
Thursday.
Girl, don't ask me. Thursdays. I have no idea.
At what time?
8 a.m. Standard Pacific Central Time.
I'm not getting up at 8 a.m.
I literally just made the Discord and it's like gave it to Mandy, so Mandy does everything for the Discord.
Mondays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we do trivia once a month with
8
prizes
p.m. Eastern. That's what I heard.
Book club.
I'm so good at this.
Rado, why are you going to miss the whole season? I might miss the entire season, so I'll have to avoid everything until it comes out on Blu-ray.
Well, it could be a work schedule thing.
Pirate that shit if you don't have HBO. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, HBO. Don't do nothing to me, bestie. Just joking, bestie.
Go
ahead.
I have a question for you guys. To the trailer for a second.
To the trailer. To the wall.
There is
Okay, sorry, Ara.
So there's a shot. It's Damon Massaria. He's holding mad gold cloaks. He's holding an egg, and then we also see across from him is Sir Otto, Harold Westerling, Kristen Cole, and Maester Mellows. Is this before or after? I'm assuming this is after they find out she's pregnant.
Yeah,
I'm assuming. Is this after he gets the egg and Viserys is like, "Whoa, buddy, you went too far," or like?
I think it's when they're sent to approach him about reaching a little too far, or I can't think today. I still said Goldfire. I still can't believe I said Goldfire. He's reaching a little far right now, and I think like it's such a Daemon/Scorpio move to bring the egg with you and be like, "Is this what you wanted?" I think that's what's going on there.
Yeah,
I see.
So I think it is. I think it's them like. I think it's Sir Otto coming to get the egg from Daemon. Like, hey, your brother doesn't want you to do this. Give me the egg. I'm going to take it back. It doesn't belong to you. You can't give it to a bastard. You're legally married to your bronze lady in the veil. So, like, what the fuck are you doing?
And it
looks like Daemon's like, take it from me. bitch.
I need to know that Sir Otto Hightower is going to be played by a man that just utterly like freaks out for no reason at all. Like you can't, like that's how I see that going. I'm like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Okay, sorry. That's how I imagine.
You're married. Well, I mean, all right. Actually, let me not joke about that. No, Damon's an asshole because he has a whole wife that he completely ignores. And honestly, I'm gonna say it. I think he's responsible for her death.
Likely. What'd she do? Fall from her saddle, right?
Yeah, like some weird shit.
Isn't that how like Sam's dad wanted to kill him?
Get rid of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuck out his foot and tripped the horse or something.
Randall Tarley. Don't be comparing Damon to Randall Tarley. Don't do that.
I mean,
well,
he's for women's
not
rights.
Exactly. Okay, look, I didn't watch Euphoria, but I've seen enough clips to see that blonde girl say, everybody thinks I'm the bad guy. And some other girl go, well, you're not exactly the good guy.
Cassie.
Big Damon vibes. Big Damon vibes. Like, Damon's not the good guy in this. You realize that, right? Like, Damon
not the
is
good
an
guy.
asshole.
He's not the bad guy. It depends.
Let's be honest.
It depends whose version.
Yeah.
That is true.
To some, he's the blackest of villains. To others,
don't George us.
Yeah,
George R. Martin.
Don't you put the source material on me? Okay.
No, it depends whose perspective that it's coming from, because there's a lot to me. I think you said it. You said it in our stream about the Greens. Like, Sir Otto had no fucking right to come up in his house and say, hey, we don't want you here. It's his fucking house.
Like the overreaching stepdad. Overreaching. That's the word.
Yeah,
okay. Overreaching stepdad.
Yeah.
Habitual stepper. That's who Otto Hightower is.
And then they toyed with Damon. And then like, I blame a lot of everything on Sir Otto because he wanted Rhaenyra to be named heir. He begged for it and 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 begged for it to spite Damon. Mm-hmm. But then now that your daughter has sons, you're punching the fucking air because she's the rightful heir, and your kids are about to get looked over, and he won't change it no matter what the fuck you say. So you're gonna just go out on your own and just try to kill everybody. So to me, he's the villain. He's the villain of this story.
You know what they say?
Cut your nose to spite your face.
Finding out.
Yeah. He fucked around and found out.
Yeah. Oh, there's gemstones.
I was gonna say more gemstone references.
Question.
I like this costume. Question.
Felicia Muna says, where do you stand on Rickard versus Rickon? So in the trailer, when they're swearing fealty, it sounds like the guy says, I, Rickon Stark, but the subtitle says Rickard. So do you think they changed his name to Rickard? The subtitle's an error, or does it really even matter?
I think that we are American and we're not trained to always hear. I mean, like the way that a lot of British people say their AR sounds like ah to us. Michael. Oh. I think it's in how we're hearing it. If the subtitles say Rickard.
Well, and the northern families have a distinctly northern accent. Mm-hmm. And if you ever heard someone from like Leeds speak, they have that very distinct speech pattern that, like you were saying, the AR sounds like ah. Mm-hmm. And I think we're just not trained to hear. I think they're definitely saying Rickard.
Contrary to popular belief, I live in Massachusetts. We for our R's.
Your cockies. Your Dunkin'
Yeah, pack the car. Yeah, no.
You going to the party?
We have a super chat from Michael David. Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to say, I just think it's Rickon, and I think it was a typo because it is the same people that left the Starbucks cup in a scene. So.
We're not comparing them.
What if they haven't made up their minds yet? They're like, we'll make it interchangeable.
We'll see how much people complain about this.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Okay. Let's be fair. They made John's name Aegon. They made John's name Aegon. The sixth. I'm just, Yep. So, I mean, they do what they want with names. But Michael David, super chat. If you don't follow Michael David on TikTok, what are you waiting for? Because he cracks me up. He cracks me up. Anyway, he said Damon with a black egg is super telling. I would absolutely love it if that ends up being Drogon later on. Like the HBO can make it plausible.
Yeah.
Even if it's not really like, yeah.
Greyways Tim says, you don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. Daemon Targaryen, probably. I agree with that.
He's
Daemon
definitely
Targaryen, Tony Montana.
I'm going to tell you right now, if Westeros had desperate housewives, Daemon would definitely be they hate us because they ain't us. Like, you know how they have their little intro, intro little slogans, their little taglines that they use.
But he's secretly fucking all the other housewives.
Yeah, that would be his.
So we've been going for almost a while.
Ross Cardenas. No, nobody here is on Team Green.
No,
clear that.
Not in
the
this
only Green
house.
that I
Maybe
care about is Helena. I'll protect her. Helena.
I like Darian.
He doesn't do anything, so he's cool.
Yeah, he doesn't. I do want to discuss the two things. I wanted to discuss the wedding scenes in the trailer, and I wanted to discuss the funeral that they were showing for what I'm assuming is Laena. However, there are parts of me that think it might, because Laenor died around this time as well, and I don't see him standing next to Rhaenyra as like a mourner, although he could be with the rest of his family. Anyway, the wedding of Laenor and Rhaenyra, I get the feeling that the Valerians are still a bit salty because of the way in the first teaser it showed them descending the stairs, and LML says it's definitely Laena. Their sarcophagus has boobies.
Nice.
I was gonna say that once you were done.
Okay.
I was gonna say that once you were done. Is the in like the head part, it looks like a woman's
Listen,
body.
you never know. Different cultures like really respect mammal glands. It might be a universal thing for some cultures.
Oh, but the thing I was gonna point out actually when you brought up Laenor not standing with Rhaenyra, I think because we see right after that shot of Rhaenyra walking off, it looks like it's the funeral scene. Mm-hmm. We get that shot of Alicent and Sir Chris and Cole doing that major side eye. So I'm wondering if like maybe like Rhaenyra and Daemon were like holding hands or some shit like that, which would be soups inappropriate at his wife's funeral in front of her in-laws and like.
She definitely looked, to me, that face kind of looks slightly like incredulous rather than like, bitch, who you looking at? Sort of thing. So I can see her looking across the water and seeing something that she's like, hello. Ew. Yeah, rather than like them just absolutely give. I don't think that was a death stare as much as that. Now, Kristen Cole has a death stare. Alicent looks a little incredulous toward whatever it is she's looking at. So I can see how Daemon and Rhaenyra kind of holding hands would have her like, this bitch. Speaking of, they totally included a wedding scene or a still from a wedding scene between Daemon and Rhaenyra. Yeah, because I mean, she's wearing this very elaborate headdress, and if you look really closely, he's got a blood smear here and across his lips. And if you look at her, she's got a blood smear across her lips, and it just looks ceremonial.
And then there's the hand wrapping, stuff in the blood. I'm assuming the blood thing's probably.
Oh, you know what? We've never really seen like a Targaryen.
Right, which is why I'm saying like I bet you fire and blood, I bet you they do, you know, because did they really have house words before they fled from the Doom?
No.
Okay, so they had to have, if they're the only, I mean, if they're one of the only Valerian families left, they are probably claiming as much as their Valerian identity as they can for their own. There's no one to compete with. There's no one to, so I can see how fire and blood is a Valerian thing rather than just a Targaryen thing. So I think in a Valerian wedding, there's fire and there's literal blood.
Yeah, and you know what? We don't get like a lot of religion when it comes to the Targaryens, like what their religion actually is. All we know is like the dragons, Meraxes, Valerian, like they were gods. So the dragons were named after gods in Valyria. So could the dragons be the actual gods, which is why you got all those candles by Valerian's skull.
I was gonna say
that makes sense. Oh, sorry, to cut you off just quickly. Her headpiece looks like a dragon, like a dragon's mouth.
Oh. Do you think that some of the Targaryens low key, even after adopting the faith of the Seven, low key still worshipped Valyrian gods, and that very easily died out? Okay, so we could still see remnants of private Valyrian.
I think it may be kind of like the Starks, where the Starks still have these old gods, but the Starks, on the other hand, are very known for this, but the Targaryens kind of had to assimilate a little bit to get the fucking faith. Faith.
Oh,
I was gonna say just quickly. Sorry, the reason why I think they keep them is 100 and something years later, and Lord knows how many. I forgot how many exact years since the Doom. For them to still know the names of their gods, to be naming new dragons after said gods that weren't used before, you had to have kept some of your cultural heritage, at least known, because figure anybody that was alive before that, they're all gone now. So
their dragon names are just consistently named after too many Valyrian gods. They had to, like you said, it had to be at least history for them.
I think so much of the just Valyrian history in general was lost due to the Doom. Because the Targaryens never, with a couple of exceptions, never really took on the religion en masse of Westeros.
Right.
We have Baelor and Baelor. A couple that went off to, Septa school and then ran away. What was it? The twins. One of them was.
But that's that's before this era, right?
After.
I mean, that's after.
It's after because Baelor is actually the grandson of
Daemon and Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra and Daemon. But I just had a thought. Speaking of Baelor, so I can see how by the time you get to Dany, there's still some of that Valyrian culture barely there, but for the most part, she doesn't know. It doesn't mention anything about the Targaryens in anyone else's flashbacks about Valyrian worship or anything like that. So I saw LML bring up the burning of the books. That's all I saw in the corner of my eye in the chat. So if I repeated something you said, I'm sorry. However, that's probably why he burns so many books. And by the time you get to Dany, it's just all lost because he probably felt the need to completely and utterly get rid of that Valyrian, the remnants of Valyrian worship.
Oh, I had a thought.
And what do you think that it was because of what happened to his grandparents?
That's it.
Him,
I was just gonna say that because figure Baelor is Aegon III's son, if I'm not mistaken, correct? He watched his mother get eaten alive by a dragon. He probably instilled this dislike of dragon. Figure they call him the Dragon Bane because no more dragons were born at in his reign until Daenerys showed up. So I could see. I do think the dragons are part of their religion, and that's the dying of the dragons plus Baelor burning a lot of material. I think that's where they lost a lot of their culture.
Mandy, what was it?
And the other part of that is the only other place in Planetos that we see a collection of a religious melting pot is in Braavos. And they were very anti-Valerian. So they don't have any of their religion there. There's no temples. We see temples for every other religion, but we don't see anything for the Valerians.
So what if one of the reasons that that the Targaryens kept screwing up bringing back dragons is because all this knowledge was lost because of Baelor. I realize I'm reaching. So what if by the time Danny, well, no, this next part might be reaching because there are a lot of people that put a lot of stock into like the comet and the coming back of magic and all that other stuff. I mean, even the Macers kind of talk about it, but what if Danny just kind of like accidentally fumbled upon it rather than like magic was gone? And by the time Danny got around to what's referred to as an alchemical wedding, what if by the time she got around to that, like she kind of accidentally brought back the dragons rather than like there was no magic before? I think that the Targaryens had no knowledge of how to bring back their dragons because of freaking Baelor, whose father definitely taught them that dragons brought nothing but death and destruction. You know?
So I agree with most of that. The only thing I don't, well, the reason Daenerys, I feel like, knew what to do a little bit was the dreams that she was getting leading up.
Okay.
Yeah. And
they were kind of telling her, like, whoever the fuck was sending those dreams or whatever power was giving her those dreams, they're kind of like directing her exactly on what to do. And then Miri Mazdor just kind of made it fit together. Like she kind of made it click for her.
Yeah. Also with we see in the trailer, we see the shot of a dragon egg. I think it is the dragon egg that Daemon was holding earlier on a brazier. Like it was like warming it up.
Yeah.
And Daenerys, we see her do that with her eggs because of these dreams she's getting. Like, oh, I'm supposed to probably put these near some fire. And I feel like they probably lost that knowledge because they didn't know. Like they just had these like stone ass eggs. They're like, hatch. Yeah. They didn't know like there was a process.
Poking you with a stick, do something.
Real quick,
that's why.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I'm just saying. Like, boop, boop, why aren't you hatching?
Real quick, we have a super chat from Brandon Thompson. Thank you for the super chat. Hello, ladies. 11 different dragon egg teasers breakdown, please. You want us to do 11 of these? New tease: Rhaenyra on Syrax, sheep stealer at the end. Vhagar smaller than Meraxes. No, Vhagar is way bigger than Meraxes.
Meraxes dead.
Yeah, Meraxes died young. Meraxes was probably like, in comparison, I would say like Vhagar is the size of Drogon and Meraxes is like the size of Viserion. Like in comparison.
Also, Vhagar is older than Meraxes, so.
It could be sheep stealer at the end. I like that.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. I'm really sold on that. It's being Daemon going to be like, I'm sorry, I couldn't save her, Vhagar. And Vhagar like, get the fuck out of my house.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
Thank you, Marlon Blythers, for the super chat.
I think something's happening with people's super chat.
It's acting weird. I don't know. He left a question on his last super chat.
Okay.
But if you do have a question, just put it in the chat, and one of our mods, or I'll grab it. Troy Stone, thank you for the super chat. Dragons have so much lore. What about direwolves? Do the stone direwolves in the crypts have stories like Greywind, Ghost, Nymeria, Shaggy, etc.? I'm sure that they do have stories about, but not in the books, not written.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're putting together evidence from what we know in the books, there's no way that Ned Stark's children are the first Starks to get direwolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it even says right in the very beginning that there have been direwolves south of the wall, but just not for a very long time.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I thought they said it was like, was it hundreds of years or thousands of years? Because if that's the case, that would explain the difference on why we don't have as much info on the direwolves.
I think we're gonna get a lot more info on them in Winds, though.
Yeah, like eventually down the line. Also, like, not to be that guy, I love the direwolves. I do. Dragon. Direwolf.
Right. This is.
There's a lot of direwolves. There's a lot of direwolves north of the wall. They just roam around. Dragons, real small group of people that have those, and they're kind of weapons of mass destruction.
All right, don't be that guy in the safe house.
It's the first one. She doesn't know. But what I'm
God, my
thinking about Sheep Stealer is if we did get into Sheep Stealer and Nettles, I think that would be more towards like season 2 or 3. Because if Nettles was introduced now, it would be like she's like 6 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Now, in season 1. So there would like maybe be like, oh, that little girl in the crowd, like to set her up to come back later, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we'll see, hopefully Zendaya. I don't think we'll see her until
Zendaya's busy.
season 2 or 3.
I hope it's Zendaya, but
random. I want my fan cast. My fan cast for Nettles is Taylor Page.
Yes.
Who?
What does she play in?
So, if you guys have seen the Zola movie, she plays Zola, but she's also in Hit the Floor. If you guys ever watched that, I'm trying to think what else Taylor Page is in, but Taylor Page is my fan cast. So,
yeah.
Do you think we're going to get an older?
Oh, but she's not English, so they're probably not going to cast her. Never mind. They normally cast like actors from the UK for these shows, so probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, Peter Dinklage.
Well, yeah.
However,
he's like an exception because George is like, that's the guy. That's my tier.
Well, that as well. Like, how many? I mean, it's a lot easier to find a phenomenal actor in the UK of a normal stature than it is to find a little person in the UK who can act their ass off.
Yeah.
Okay, let me reformat. It's easier to find the perfect Cersei in the UK of a regular height than it would be the perfect Tyrion that is a little person in the UK.
Because let's be honest, the other person I would have guessed would have been Warwick Davis, who does a lot of the Star Wars stuff, and I had to just look it up. He is from the UK, but he be booked and busy. I don't think he had time to dedicate to be Tyrion, to be honest. If anybody was going to bring that up, I beat you to it. But sorry.
Respond to the chat to John Haymaker. Hodor was Irish, but he's from Northern Ireland, and technically they are part of Britain.
Yes, they're part of the UK.
All right. So it is 4:00. So we're going to wind down the stream so we can go on with our Sunday. And Alicia Wolfman sent a super chat.
We have a request.
And he wants to know, can we get some Ghost of High Heart action? Actually,
it's been so long.
Tell us your favorite part of the trailer in Ghost of High Heart.
Oh, I love that.
I have to think about it.
While you're thinking about it, I'm going to tell you guys my favorite part of the trailer.
Okay.
My favesy part of the trailer was is a tie because I really liked Harrenhal. I really liked seeing Harrenhal, but the lords, the Stark, Rickon Stark, Corlys Valerian, Boromir Baratheon swearing fealty to Rhaenyra, because I really wanted them to include that because I feel like it sets up a good precedent. Like it sets up a lot that's going to happen going forward.
I would say my favorite moment, I really just love that entrance of House Valerian, which I'm assuming is a wedding where they're all in the matching outfits and that like, oh, they just look so freaking good. Yeah, majestic is a great word. Also, side note, we definitely see what I think is Corlys's nephew.
Vaemond, yes.
Yeah, so which makes me wonder, I'm like, because it's not him, I think it's his brother or another cousin that ends up getting their tongue taken out by Viserys for talking shit about Rhaenyra's kids, but that's besides the point. That shot I really like. And the other shot that I really, really, really enjoy is this little hot takey. I think Daemon was getting his ass beat for touching his niece, which he should have gotten his ass beat for.
Oh, when they threw him down? Mm-hmm. Or when by Sir Christian Cole?
Yeah, I'm a part of me really strongly believes that is when he was trying to like fondle his niece and good. Because he was grooming her, and that's gross. Gross.
Yeah. We're about to see a lot of
a lot of rough topics to get through, because that's definitely one of them that, in my opinion, I feel like cannot be swept under the rug. He literally groomed her because he wanted to be her consort, because if she was going to be the heir, he would get what he wanted, which was the throne. So
yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of moments where we're like, oh, this is a lot different when you're just reading words on a page than watching these family members diddle each other. It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
I bet they're very aware of that, so I'm willing to wager young Rhaenyra is like 18.
Yeah, she's gonna be aged up for sure.
I hope so.
Toneware Beckett said Rhaenyra's necklace has sigils of the great houses. I missed that. I didn't catch that.
Diego pointed that out on Twitter, actually, if you guys follow him. I'd seen him put up like a thread about that. I think it was yesterday. But yeah.
Rodo said yes, House Valerian is like a Beyonce opening a show.
I was thinking
it's
of,
like
and the only reason I'm not going to say the full word is because I realize people who are not aware of the fact that I am half Black might tune in at any moment, and they're going to see this woman that does not typically look Black say the N-word. But it reminds me of Guys in Paris, that Jay-Z and Kanye song when they come in. That's what it reminds me of.
It reminded me of Lemonade a little bit. Alicia, the Ghost of High Heart in your hill in the Riverlands.
Oh, that she was still thinking, because I'll say, has Mandy gone yet?
I was gonna say, has Mandy talked about her favorite?
I don't know if she did yet. I don't want you to not miss your opportunity.
I will do it. Somebody paid $5 to hear me do it, so I will make it on that.
Think about it. Let Mandy go first. Save it for last.
Okay, we'll close with Alicia's Ghost of High Heart.
Build it up.
Okay. Hold
on. I like weird scenes because I like the cinematography of it all. So Harrenhal was magnificently shot. I loved it. I loved the dragon on the brazier. I love Daemon walking up with the egg. Just the ones that are like grand cinematography feel. I love that stuff. And I'm looking forward to just the like impactful scenes where there's like something important going on, but the way it's shot makes it feel bigger. Like Harrenhal, like it's very important what's going on in Harrenhal, but the way they shot it, it's like it kind of hits you with how like
massive,
huge the moment it is.
Yeah, and the castle. Girl, I got full body chills when I saw Harrenhal. I was like, "That's fucking Harrenhal!" At work.
Yeah. Big same. Okay, High Heart, we're ready for you.
Okay, hold on. It's been so long. No, I got goosebumps. When I heard the Targaryen theme, because I knew whatever they had planned is gonna be excellent.
Yes. The Targaryen, the music was, I love it. I like the changes that they made to it, but you still get that theme. You still feel Dan pulling up on Drogon. Like it invokes the same feelings.
It's fire and blood, baby.
Thank you, Alicia. We love you.
We love you so
Alicia,
much.
I appreciate your service.
Can you do my voicemail in that voice?
Maybe one day.
Okay. All right, guys. So that is our stream. Oh, let me just go to these super chats real quick, and then we're gonna dip out of here. Thank you, Noram Blythers, for the super chats. Thank you, Brandon Thomas. There were 11 different dragon egg teasers released. Each had different colors and egg designs.
Oh, are you talking about the posters? I have there was a promo poster announcement. Actually, if you go on my channel, shameless plug again, I broke down those teaser posters. So yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
So there you go.
We seem to be divided.
I don't remember being 11.
Vhagar. So one thing that is for sure, by the time we get around to 299 AC, 300 AC, Meraxes does have the smallest skull. I don't know for sure if Vhagar or Meraxes was smaller in life when Meraxes was still alive, but by the time One thing we do know for sure is by the time we get around to the story of Game of Thrones, they're all skulls, and Meraxes has the smallest.
I'm pretty sure Vagar's older than.
Yeah, because if Vagar is Visenya's hatchling, she's the eldest of the 3 children, so her dragon would be because Valerion's the only one that came over from Valeria, and I'm pretty sure the other ones, like that Targaryen practice where they put them in the cradle and they hatch. So if that were the case, not only that, I just feel like Vagar's just like, I don't know, seemed like a hungry bitch. Probably ate a lot.
Yeah, Valerian
by the time
actually
of the
came
dance,
from
by the time of the dance, like 2 dragons can't really. Oh, Vagar.
My whole thing is there's just so much, and it's been respectful discourse, but there's so much discourse in the chat. In my mind, I'm like, okay, well, why don't we all agree? By Game of Thrones, Meraxes has the smallest skull, and then we can all rest easy.
Yay,
we can all rest easy.
I
just brought about world peace. Just saying.
You did. Love it. This congeniality.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, we're out. We will be trying to do more DireWolfCity when we get a chance. We all work crazy, live crazy lives on the wild side. So we can't always come every day. But make sure you check out Ara's channel at I Eat Zebra. Make sure you follow Hangry Like the Wolf and Totes Not Alice. That's Alicia's Instagram and Twitter. Mandy's is Nim Shadow, Instagram and Twitter. Yeah. Thank you guys.
My Instagram is actually Hangry Like the Wolf. Also, Preposterous will be back within the next few weeks.
Those have been asking.
Yes, it will be back within the next few weeks. Like MJ pointed out, life happened to all of us, and you have to keep in mind we're trying to get 4 people with different schedules to all sit down at once. So.
In 3 time zones.
Yep.
Just add to it.
Yeah.
Tis what it is.
Thank you guys for all your support. We will be back, and we will work out what kind of live after show we're going to do. After show next day, same day. We'll try to figure it out. But just let us know in the comment section what works. But I'll make a poll. That's it. I'll make a poll on Twitter. All right, guys. Any announcements before we dip out?
I dropped a link to my channel. I'll leave a comment after. But yeah, check me out. Help, support, yada yada yada. All that good stuff.
Subscribe to Bestie's channel. Or you're a traitor. If you don't subscribe to her channel, you like the greens, and that's it. And that's all.
You can't sit with us anymore.
I've been peer pressured into a channel, so I'm going to be beginning one sometime in the next couple months.
See, I didn't even know that. What?
I didn't know that, but I've been applying the peer pressure.
I have to have some mystery.
Okay, if we're announcing future projects, yeah, I'm gonna join Twitch, and I'm going to Twitch myself playing Skyrim for the first time, and I play with an inverted camera angle, which Skyrim does not allow. So I'm going to be fumbling the whole time, and it's going to be great fun. So yeah,
I played for like 5 minutes one time and struggled so bad, and I loved it, but I thought the world needed to see it.
I've been on the phone with her while she's been playing with her. And it's hilarious.
So yes, that is something in the works.
Love it.
Yes, it is something, because I know a lot of people have been asking. Yes, I plan on doing Twitch while I play Skyrim for the first time, and I think that I have a bit of a handicap because I play with an inverted camera. Usually, like if I point the joystick this way, my camera goes that way. So Skyrim doesn't allow that. So watch me struggle. Yay.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Is that rude?